Welcome to your operator. I'm the director call.
Oh, now I'm getting the operator. How do I get records? And they don't want to talk to me. They keep transferring me to voicemail to deny me of assistance. I don't know what to do with that. It's been happening years.
Okay, so you need a copy of my records. Let me go ahead and transfer your call.
I have multiple different things. They're denying me of assistance. What's your name?
I'm sorry?
What's your name?
My name is Lisa.
Lisa? Sure.
Yeah.
Yes, so can I speak with records and then I can handle that first and then I can find out why they're depriving me of services.
Okay, yes, let me transfer you in a moment.
Okay.
Medical records. Please hold for the next available agent.
So have you noticed a pattern of I'm getting calls? On calls, they're legally monitoring me and they're trying to interrupt evidence. So when the going gets tough or when the situation gets too incriminating, someone will call me to try to interrupt that call. And since it's been happening years, if it's, too important, I won't click over. I've even received prank calls during police reports and different things of that sort. I know I'm being monitored illegally. So the point of it is just trying to prove it. So they're struggling to answer the phone again.
Medical records, how can I help you?
Until I start recording. Yes, this is Kiana Clark. I think I was disconnected. Was that you that I was talking to about crimes committed with records?
Let me see one second now.
You got to see if it was you. A lot of people say that there were crimes committed with records today.
No, let me see. I'm in the middle of a page real quick. Let me get out. I got to get into your...
You got to get out? Okay.
Your date of birth.
I asked you if I just spoke with you when we were disconnected. You don't want me to know?
I don't know, ma'am. I speak to a lot of people.
Did they say that crimes were being committed with records today? A lot of people?
Can I have your date of birth?
I would like to address if you hung up in my face, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay, did you speak with anyone else that told you that crimes were being committed with records?
I can't give that information out.
Sure you can. Maybe the feds can get it out of you. Okay, so do you have my name?
I need your date of birth so I can get into your records.
I did. I applied for the records and got the records, but they were not the right records, and they haven't really addressed the issue. They gave me medical records when I was asking for mental health records. How would Gulf Men have medical records? How is that possible?
It looks like those records were sent to us from, was it Cross Creek?
Did that make sense for them to send you a mental health provider medical records?
Yes, they do.
Why would they play mind games if I'm asking for mental health records to send you medical records? Why would you let them do that?
Well, they send them to us for a hospital follow-up.
That's not, do our records free? I can't remember if I paid for them.
No, ma'am, you don't pay for them.
Okay, so why would they play mind games if I'm asking for mental health records and then they send me medical records? I don't have a choice in asking for, because all places treat me like this. So I'm asking for mental health records and they demand that I get medical records?
I'm looking at your page.
I'm asking, is that how records is? Because there's crimes committed all over. So I'm just wanting clarity. If I'm questioning, if I'm asking for a certain record and instead they demand that I have medical records, is that violating my rights?
Well, the document that was filled out states here you were requesting Cross Creek hospitalization record, which is what the lady gave you.
In Cross Creek, a mental hospital?
Yes.
So instead, why would they play games if it's a mental hospital? Why are they giving me medical records?
That's just what those documents are classified under.
Sure. So what's your name?
My name is Yesenia.
Okay, so some kind of way a mental hospital wanted to. How did mental hospital have medical records?
I'm not really understanding. Those are just the records that Cross Street had for your file that they.
You don't understand. I don't understand why the feds haven't done anything. So a mental health hospital has medical records and no mental health records.
So if The problem is with the Cross Creek Hospital.
I'm just trying to get clarity, ma'am. Your records. Is this records?
Yes, those are records.
Okay, so I asked for mental health records, but they gave me medical records, and your records, and you don't understand either?
The records that were given to you were what was marked on your release of information that you signed.
So you're telling me that I asked for my mental health records wrong?
Do you have the paperwork with you? Let me see. It should be the first or second page is the release of information that you filled out with Miss Harley on March 27th.
Okay, so what is it stating now? How did I did it wrong to get medical records instead of mental health records?
It stated that it's marked other and you requested hospitalization records from Cross Creek. And what was given to you was, let me go back. What was given to you was records from Cross Creek and then a hospital follow-up.
I didn't ask for that. I asked for my mental health records. Okay, so let me make sure I understand because I'm trying to expose crimes deliberately. So I'm asking for my mental health records. They send me medical records, 15 pages of medical records in 2 sentences that are mental health records trying to be funny. And multiple different locations have done this. And malice. And some of them wouldn't give me the records, period. And then the 2 sentences they gave me were different than what I was reported to me that was in the system. So I'm questioning how you guys thought it was okay for me to ask for records that were regarding mental health and then them playing mind games and sending me medical records. If I can't communicate to you that I want my mental health records and then not get medical records, how is it possible for me to get them? Because I'm saying that I want my mental health records and to not get charges, they're sending me medical records as an alibi that they tried. Other part locations didn't even do that. But I'm trying to expose that crimes are being committed. So I don't know. Are they telling me low-key that they don't want me to have these records to keep themselves out of prison?
Well, the records we gave you were just the records that were marked that you requested when you signed it with Harley and intake.
No, I'm not really being heard, and I haven't been heard years, and I think it may have something to do why the police thought it was a threat for me to report to my provider these strange calls that I've had to endure decades that have defrauded me out of funds. I don't know how it would be comfortable. I don't know how it's a possibility for me to get my records if I keep doing it wrong year after year, and it's my fault I'm not getting them. If I'm not being pushed and shoved and violated and arrested for trying to get records. So how would you think that I need to get the records? How did I do it wrong this time?
So which records are you needing?
What do you show on the paper?
Cross Creek, or do you?
Both, all of them, because it's hidden. They don't want to be accountable for their false reports.
Yes, and what we gave you was a hospital follow-up documentation and then your records from Cross Creek. So it was a total of 21 pages that we gave you.
There was one sheet with 2 sentences on it with mental health records. All of them was medical. There was one sheet with mental health records, and like I said, it was altered, not what was reported to me, and it was 2 sentences. Nothing on any kind of counseling or therapy, which I didn't get, anything about treatment, nothing. Everything was hidden. So if I'm telling you I want the records and you refuse to give it to me and then blame me for it, how can I combat that?
Sorry, ma'am. I don't really understand because what we gave you is what was checked off on.
Well, okay. Well, what did the doctor diagnose me with in the records then?
I can't give that over the phone.
Okay. So how do I get it again? Since I didn't get it the first time.
You would have to go through and fill out a release of information.
How did I do it wrong the first time and I already did this?
You only checked off a few of the boxes.
Okay, which boxes did I not check out that was wrong? So I know how to do it this time.
So what was checked off says assessment, service treatment plans, and then hospitalization records from Cross Creek. Those are the only 3 that were checked off.
Okay, so I checked off what?
Assessment.
I
Service
didn't get
treatment
that,
plan.
ma'am. I didn't get the assessment. And what else was checked off?
Service treatment plan.
Do you see that I received that?
We gave you what we had in our
Dude, ma'am, if
system.
you're hiding what you gave me, I can't combat that if you aren't getting charges. Do you see what you gave me? The record you gave me?
Yeah, we gave you 21 pages.
Okay, do you see that I got a service treatment plan?
If it wasn't in your record,
Do you
then
say
no,
you
we
see what
wouldn't
you
give it
gave
to
me?
you.
Why would you not be honest about what you see?
You know what, ma'am? Let me transfer you to my manager.
That's what the con artists are told to do. When you get caught in racking up felonies, transfer
Well,
her
I'm
to her
not the one
voicemail.
that worked on your record. So.
Well, you are still committing a crime and hiding what you see. There's mandatory reporting that you're refusing to do, and you just want to transfer me to a supervisor like what they've done for a decade. So they don't have not accountable. They do this in person. Speak to my supervisor. Calling con artists on the phone to enforce
my supervisor
crimes.
actually worked on your release.
But if you say that you see it, why would you hide the records that were given to me?
No, she's just gonna tell you the same thing I'm telling you.
You're not telling me anything. You're transferring me to not have to have an explanation to why I didn't get these proper records. So you said service treatment plan, and what was the other record?
Hospitalization Cross Creek record.
Assessment, service treatment plan, and what else?
Hospitalization Cross Creek record. That one's handwritten.
So, and you don't want me to know if you see the assessment or service and treatment plan?
Well, I told you what I saw that we gave you.
I asked you if you saw that in there.
And what we gave you was the hospital Cross Creek record, and it's called a GBC hospital follow-up. Those are the two that we gave you, which the totals of 21 pages.
Okay, so you gave me what? Repeat that again.
Hospital Cross Creek records. And then it's called a GBC hospital follow-up note.
Okay, where's the assessment and treatment plan?
If it wasn't in your record at that time, you didn't receive it.
If I requested it, why did I not receive it? And you're looking at what I received, so if your records and you're hiding what you gave me, how am I supposed to combat that? Do you see that you gave it to me?
See, you don't have one. You recently have your assessment, so if you want that one, you would have to come through and fill out another.
I just asked you, ma'am. You said that it was checked for the assessment and the service treatment plan. That was checked for another hospital. Do you see?
Not for another hospital. Your assessment is done with us, but the records that Cross Creek is what sent us. That's the records you received.
Okay, so if that was checked off, if I was asking for the hospital assessment, so now the con is that I was asking for the mental hospital records. You thought I was asking for Gulf Bend records?
See, I don't understand what you're trying.
You said, ma'am, I don't understand what you're thinking because I asked for assessment and service treatment plan. What records did you think that was coming from? What location?
Well, it looks like your assessment happened after you received your.
I'm asking you for the records, ma'am, for the simple records, the form that you have in front of you for the assessment and the service treatment plan. Who was I getting the records from, ma'am?
These records that you checked off on our boxes are our records, Gulf Bend records. But the reason you also received Cross Creek is because there's another box that's checked off that says other, and it's written on there hospitalization records from Cross Creek. So that's why you got those records as well.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand. So there's a service treatment plan that was checked for Gulf Bend. Okay, then there's assessment plan for Gulf Bend, and then there is the hospitalization records. Do you see that I got those, ma'am?
It shows you received the hospital Cross Creek records and then your hospital follow-up note.
So where's the assessment plan that you said that you have a box checked, and where's that and the service treatment plan records?
Let me go back into your records. So your release was done dated 3/27/25. Your assessment was done a few
I'm
days
not. I
after,
think
which
that
is
we're
why you
wasting a
didn't
lot of
get it.
time, ma'am. We've been on the phone an extended amount of time, and you places keep blaming me for it. The simple question was, and it's like people are prepped to do this year after year, and I'm just trying to prove it. The question was, if you see that I asked for records for assessment plan and service treatment plan for Gulf Bend, my question was, did I get it?
Yes, I understand your question. I'm just
That's a
trying to
yes
help
or
you
no answer,
understand the
ma'am. I'm
reason
not
you
quite certain on
didn't
why
get them.
everywhere I'm calling treats me this way. Did I get the records? Yes or no, ma'am?
I'm trying to help you understand the reasoning on why you didn't get that.
Okay, so if you saw it
Because
checked
those are
out,
dated.
if you saw it checked out, so who did you say helped me with this, ma'am?
I didn't do your release.
Who
My
did you say
manager
helped me
did.
with requesting the records, ma'am? Who did this?
Who gave you your records? My manager did.
No, you said that someone helped me fill out the form for the records?
Yes, that was going to be Miss Harley from intake.
Okay, now you had a reasoning. Go ahead over the reasoning on why I didn't get these records.
Because this is dated March 27th, and your assessment, which is checked off that you wanted, wasn't done until April 3rd, which is after these records were already processed for you.
Okay, so April, when is when I had the assessment?
April 3rd.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand. So I asked for hospitalizations for Cross Creek, and who helped me do the records?
Miss Harley
Miss Harley.
from intake.
Okay, Miss Harley. Okay, so Miss Harley, who helped me with the records, she misunderstood that I wanted the hospitalization and assessment and service treatment plan for the hospital and thought that I wanted it for Gulf Bend and it didn't exist.
I'm not sure what went on with you and Harley, but that's
I'm
the
just
only
trying to
thing I
get
can
clarity
think of,
because are you
because that's what's
saying that
on
she
our
requested
release.
records that hadn't happened yet?
No.
Okay, so if they already happened, did you furnish the records?
No.
Okay, so I don't understand. So she requested records. The records happened or they didn't happen when she requested them?
She doesn't do the assessment.
I'm not really being heard for all these years. So when we were requesting the records and you said that someone helped me, what's her name again? Harley?
She helped you fill out your release of information, yes.
Harley. Okay. So Harley, at that time, there was no assessment for Gulf Bend done and no service treatment plan for Gulf Bend. But she requested records for Gulf Bend? Is that what happened?
She requested that we give you records if they were in the record, yes. But since they weren't in the record, you didn't receive that.
Okay, so hold on. So I requested records for the hospitalization and the treatment plan from that, and she told me about what the doctor had in the file, and I requested that information, but there was a glitch, and she asked for records for Gulf Bend that didn't exist. And we know that I asked for the hospitalization records because I got partial records, but she checked off other boxes for that included records for Gulf Bend that didn't exist. So multiple different places have done things like this to spin my wheels. So I'm thinking that I'm getting hospitalization records, but she demanded that I get records for Gulf Bend that weren't created yet.
Are you needing
In Malice.
the assessment that was done at Cross Creek? Is that what it is?
That's what the records that I was requesting, but I'm trying to expose corruption and blatant lies and people scamming to spin my wheels. There was a method reasoning for this insanity. And you'd have to prove that people are playing games because it's an incredible story. So I'm trying to trap you in crimes that you guys repeatedly keep committing. I think that she requested those records in malice to spin my wheels. If I'm asking for hospitalization records, why would she say that I needed records for Gulf Bend that didn't exist? Evidence is that I needed the hospital records is because you have a partial request for the hospital. But she's conned that she needed that I was trying to get records for Gulf Bend that didn't exist. And each time that I'm exposing crimes, people have pathological lies to cover for them.
No, I get it. I completely understand where the confusion's coming from now. what is needed is for us to request all the records from Cross Creek. That way we can give you all those records from them.
I've already done it, ma'am. That's what I'm trying to expose for years, and there's an alibi on why I'm not getting these records, and I don't understand how people haven't received charges. If I've already done it and it didn't happen, I don't know how to get them.
Yeah, that's what's Cross Creek. I understand now what you're...
No, that wasn't Cross Creek. That was Harley.
Yes.
I had told Harley that I wanted those records that she was reading over because it was crimes. Those were false reports that were put in that documentation.
That's what Cross Creek sent us. And
no, ma'am, there's a misunderstanding because Harley said that she had records from the hospital. She told me that the hospital had basically lied and slandered. The hospital said that I was delusional because the police department wasn't terrorizing me and I was reporting death threats. The problem with me getting those records is because I showed Harley the death threats as well as multiple different other parties there. So the records altered that Harley had hiding the death threats. That wasn't the hospital. That was you guys' crime. She told me that she had records from the hospital that stated I was delusional. There were no death threats and there were corruption with the police department. Didn't happen. She told me that out her own mouth. And I had her read it over to me multiple different times. That's why I record you guys without your knowledge. Because nobody would ever believe my story. Then, since I didn't record her, those were one of the instances I did not record her. And then what does she do? Allow the records to be altered and play games to keep me from getting those records. Her con was to keep me from those records that I thought you needed records for Gulf men that didn't exist. Didn't she do my assessment?
No.
What was she doing, ma'am, then? What did I speak with her regarding?
Your intake process.
Okay, what's the difference between an intake and an assessment?
The assessment, you came back and saw Miss Stacy Borchardt, I think is her last name.
Okay, did she set that assessment up?
The assessment is completed, yes.
Did she set the assessment up?
What do you mean?
Who set the assessment up with Stacy, ma'am? Who set the assessment up with Stacy?
Scheduled you for it.
You can look because it was her, ma'am. It was her. Look and find out who did it. It's critical evidence. Because I asked her for Stacy's email because I perceived that Stacy would lie and commit crimes like she did. Find out who set up the assessment, ma'am.
What it shows me is that, okay, here's your schedule, is 3/27/25.
I asked you who set up the assessment, ma'am. I'm not being heard. I would like you to find out who set the assessment up with Stacy. Because it may be people networked to set up people that will commit crimes. And if all these parties are networked to enlist other parties that are willing to risk charges, then that's how I'm trapped in this insanity. If I'm networked to people that don't mind breaking the law, that gets me nowhere. And I need to interrupt that pattern. So I need to know who set up the assessment with Stacy. I don't need to continue to be punished because people demand, they choose to break the law. I don't want to be punished for their crimes and abuse. They need to be held accountable for their actions.
It says individual agreed appointment 4-3. This is Harvey's note. Yes, individual agreed appointment on 4/3/25. So Miss Harley scheduled you with Miss Stacy for your assessment.
Okay, so that meant that she checked the box for me to get an assessment, and knowing that I did, she knew that it was impossible for me to get the assessment if she scheduled the assessment.
I mean, if it was checked off, so that's probably why you just received your follow-up note that you had with her that day.
Well, this is a repeated pattern, and like I said, I think that I need to address that people play games with me. Actuality, what happened is you guys altered records that she had read over with me, which is criminal.
But we can't mess with the records like that.
That's why it's a crime. Yes, you did it. And then to cover for your crime, you scammed that you thought the assessment was for a record that you didn't have yet. But you have to go, you spend an extended amount of time to expose you guys multiple different corruption from multiple different parties. Because I know my story isn't realistic. So what she did to try to help save that hospital and save all the felonies that people chose to rack up for themselves, those death threats that armies full of locations risked their livelihood and criminal charges to cover for. She indeed wanted to be an accomplice and then let it put in false information for records that didn't exist so they can have time to alter records and deprive me of the information to help rescue this hospital. So you guys then to help rescue that hospital from their crimes, and the hospital tried to rescue the police from their crimes in the court. So it's all this big, huge mess and conspiracy of racked up countless felonies. So by the time that all that con that she wanted to give me an assessment for something that hadn't happened yet, by the time all this nonsense happened, then that buy time for you to find a strategy to alter records, which is criminal, like what you did. So I'm just trying all this to expose that she deliberately, if I'm asking for hospitalization records, of course I want the assessment and treatment plan for the hospital and not for something that didn't exist. And then you try to blame it on the hospital. That's what the hospital sent over. No, if she's reading me, if she's reading me that the hospital said that I had death threats and it was a delusion, it didn't really happen. She read that to me. And I said, can I take a picture of it? She said, there's hospital records and I can't let you take a picture of it. I said, well, can I get the records? She said, okay. I think government officials, and then in fact, when I spoke with Stacy, someone came in and had to monitor the whole conversation. I think government officials are abusing their authority and then demanding people to commit crimes so they don't go to prison. You can't go location to location and then flash guns and threaten people and violate them till they commit crimes with you.
All we gave you was the records that
I'm just not really being heard for all this years, man. The bottom line of it is that location after location commits crimes and alters documents. Maybe I need to go to school for law enforcement. You're forcing me to do my own investigation work. You guys won't do it. So I don't know how to combat that you refuse to abide by the law and you don't see countless felonies as who am I? Are you records?
Yeah, I'm in the records.
What's your name again?
Yesenia.
And I'm telling you that the records were altered and you're arguing with me and saying it didn't happen?
We don't alter records, man. That's what I'm...
You have, what do you think that you have evidence of?
What do you mean?
What do you think from the conversation? What do you think is happening here? If none of this is medical records that I'm asking for? How's all this medical records and its mental health record? You said that you have assessment, service treatment plan, and hospitalization records at Cross Creek. Then why is it medical records? How would a mental health hospital have medical records anyway, ma'am?
That's just what the records are classified under. It is all under one group.
I think that you have integrity issues, ma'am. If it's a mental hospital, why would they send me all medical records?
That's just what they sent us, and that's what we gave you.
No, ma'am, because she said something else was in the system, and you won't hear it for some reason, like all other locations. If I'm not being arrested for getting records, for trying to get records at CPS. I'm telling you a crime was being committed. She told me something else that she had in her records for Gulf Bend records, that the doctor said that I was mentally ill because I did not get death threats and the police department was not terrorizing me. That's what she read over. And I said, well, I have a court crime going on with the Austin court. I need those records. She said, okay, did the paperwork. I don't even know if she committed the crime. People with badges and guns enforce crimes on civilians all the time. They may have forged paperwork like they've been doing and then falsified her information and let her take the fall for it. They've been getting away with it years. They don't care. They're safe. She may not have even done that, ma'am.
I don't know what Harley does for her.
But I don't know if you are not doing your proper mandatory reporting and covering for crimes or how to combat that. Because I'm telling you that the record altered as well as multiple different other locations and nothing's repeatedly done and locations are committing crimes, and that I just have to let you see it and we're committing crimes to you. And you just have to repeatedly take it 10 plus more years. So if your records and it's a crime for you not to do anything, what do I do with that? And you won't.
So the only other person I think you can talk to would be our quality management.
I mean, she's probably going to be railroaded to commit crimes too. If you're committing crimes and won't do your mandatory reporting or report it to anyone that you're hearing about corruption, if you won't, maybe everyone else won't care about getting charges. No one else there that I've came in contact was concerned about it. And no one at the hospital. That's why the doctor went ahead and committed that crime at the hospital. And you helped cover for him. He helped cover for the police. The court helped cover for the police. And it's just this big, huge mess. And no one seems to be held accountable for it. This has went on 10 years and I haven't been heard all this time. I don't know what to do, man. The corruption is too extreme, What do you suggest I do if you guys won't give me the records and then blaming it on the hospital and then saying it can't be done? You can't be committing crimes as an alibi.
We can request all of your records.
Well, it's already happened, ma'am, and I didn't get it. So what do I do with the fact that you're blaming me for crimes you repeatedly keep committing and saying and using as an alibi that you can't alter records? Yes, that's what happened.
I can let you talk to somebody in our quality management.
Okay, let's try this, ma'am. Can you brief her on what's happening so I don't have to repeat myself? I've been on the line with you 33 minutes, and this has happened years and countless hours on end to get nowhere, ma'am. But arrested and violated and intimidated, abused, mistreated. That's the only thing that I've had.
Real quick. Quality management lady that I can have you talk to, her name is Miss Martha.
Okay, and then I asked you a long time ago, you said that you would try to help me. Was that you that said you'd try to help me? And then they deflected and distracted? Yes.
The beginning of our conversation, I said I was trying to help you understand.
No, I don't know if it was this call, but the party said that I'll try to help. And armies full of other parties have said that. And I was questioning if you had my information. Why is it that you had to try to look it up?
I needed your date of birth to get into your record first.
Oh, so you meant that when you got my date of birth, then you could try?
Yes, remember I asked you for
Why
your date
wouldn't
of
you
birth,
say,
and
let me
I
look
asked
up your record, ma'am? Why do you have to try to look it up?
That's just how I said it.
You're not the only one saying it that way, ma'am. That's why I commented on it. So what's the party? You said her name is Miss Martha?
Yes, ma'am.
I think someone was already supposed to let me talk to Miss Martha, and something happened, and we weren't able to communicate properly. I called her, and then I'm not quite certain if my call was returned. Is she available now?
I can get her on the phone before I try and transfer you.
That would be wonderful, ma'am. Thank you.
Can you write down her extension as well, too? I don't believe I gave that to you.
Okay, what is that, ma'am?
It's 2349.
Okay.
So let me put you on hold and see if I can get a hold of her.
You got to see if you can get her. Okay, can you brief her on this discussion that we've had? That I believe that there's malfeasance with the records department and how people are being accomplices to cover up for government officials repeatedly committing crimes?
Yes, ma'am, I can tell her.
Okay, thank you. This is the time. Don't leave me on hold and malice, so that's why I try to keep you updated on how long I've been on these calls. So while I took the time out to do this recording, I know it takes an extended amount of time. I'd fax something to a location, then walk all the way down the street, catch the bus, fax something, get a confirmation number. Then they say they didn't receive it. I go back, fax it again, get a confirmation number. They didn't receive it again. Then, it's not because you don't think people are this crooked. It's happened at numerous locations. I send an email multiple different times, they didn't get it. Check stubs. I had to send a check stub to this guy from MHMR to get housing. Just one moment. My device may not let you see it. Hold on. This looks like it's altered. But I'm showing him that we had correspondence. He said he didn't know who I was. I sent him the pay stubs. Okay. In November. Then I sent him the check stubs in December. This is the person, Eric McCarthy. He needs more information. Send him the pay stubs again. He tells me he finally received the pay stubs, multiple different attempts. My job told me I'm sending him the pay stubs. I don't know what to do. We're taking a lot of effort to send him these stubs. He was playing games. After all the insanity, I never got the housing. They said that we can't keep sending him these things over and over. I went to a bank, had them fax SMI one card because they cut my card off in malice. They faxed over the paperwork 3 times. They claimed they never got it. They would never cut my card back on or mail me out a card. Then I went over to another location. They faxed it 3 times. And then that party said he said, I can't keep faxing it. I have a business to run. I'm sorry. So I was stuck without my funds. This has been a pattern that people are blind and playing games to have me on this hamster wheel for profit. So my employer filled out the document, and how's it if they filled out the document that it's still a discrepancy? You're sending them the document, and if it's filled out wrong, you did it. And I confront him. I sent this information a long time ago, and it was ignored. Now his con is, as it stands, there are no available funds for the tenant-based rental assistance program. All locations are out of funding 10 years. They're full 10 years. First, he didn't know who I was. Then I sent him texts, emails. Then he was caught and said he tried to blame me for it. I have no record of that document being returned. He would never answer my calls. Screenshot showing incoming emails. I have attached a screenshot showing incoming emails from you. These records indicate that prior to 9, there has no been contact with you since 1/6/2022. I kept calling him. He wouldn't return my calls. Meanwhile, we got this insanity going on. I am.
Okay. So I went around looking for Miss Martha, and I believe she's out, and I have everything written here.
Yeah, this has happened like the years, ma'am. People have spent my wills for years. I'm just trying to prove it. People, they lied and said people were out to lunch. People no longer work there. And I went over there, went to the locations on the spur, and they were there. At Mid-Coast, they said someone was out, and then they walked past. And I didn't even want to bother with the pathological lies, but, no one has interrupted it. How do you think it feels to call and beg for your life, and everybody's out to lunch on vacation, and then you catch them in life repeatedly over and over, but nothing's done about it?
I even looked for her manager.
Sure, ma'am. I want the feds to look for people, ma'am. But okay, ma'am, if maybe you could have her call me back. They typically don't, ma'am. I wouldn't want to go to jail either. They don't mind me going for profit, but they don't seem to want to go. If they don't want to go to jail, why do they think I want to go? Why demand something out of me that they don't want? Why do they get to commit the crime and then punish me and take me to jail for their crimes? What makes them think I want to go if they don't want to go for their own crimes? So they get to commit the crime and then take me to jail for their crime over and over again.
What's a good phone number for you, ma'am?
And what was your name again?
Yesenia.
Okay, well, did you give me your last name?
No, I didn't. It's Alcazar.
Okay. And you're with Gulf Bend Records? Okay, you don't have an obligation to report misconduct and corruption?
I do, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, you may need to report that so you don't get be held accountable for not doing so.
Yes, ma'am. I have all your information here written, so I can communicate this with Miss Martha and have her call you.
Okay, that sounds good.
Discuss this even further, okay?
Okay, and do you think that she can figure out why I'm not getting services there either? Because it's happened for years. Will she be able to figure that out for me?
Yes, she'll be able to dig further into it than I can, yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, bye.